Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I have my pick of the big games that I could have done today. The people who failed, the bad ones. Newcastle, no, good thank you. Could have done Chelsea, not interested. Waiting for the Real Madrid result. Next, Spurs, yes, will take it. This one too hot, this one too cold, this one just right. Except Spurs aren't going just right now. Things are going very, very poorly. And you know what? They could probably take a couple of tips out of a few of the clubs that they faced recently's book. In fact, they've lost to Bournemouth. Bournemouth on a good run of form recently, turning things around, got a group of players that they galvanised after they were beginning to do pretty badly. Oh, things going well now. Could stay up. Could they get the results they needed? Strange. Brighton, of course, their last win. They played them though. I mean, you know, Brighton, good team, but Spurs at home, maybe a good thing for them. Got rid of Conte, things looking all right. They could learn a bit from them though. Good recruitment policy, getting players for reasonable prices. Probably the kind of place where you want to go as a manager. Probably the kind of place where you want to play if you were a player, because you know there are, you know, kind of a climbing level of things going on there. At Spurs right now, it's just a big confusion. Is Harry Kane staying? Probably not. He absolutely ghosted in this game. Richarlison looks frustrated. There was a game recently where Son got sent off after Conte goes. I think that was the Everton game. You can see the players are frustrated. But what's weird about it is we keep blaming the managers and other people around them. It's weird. I know that they put the teams together and there's like, you know, strange stuff that goes on. Maybe Conte wasn't the guy at the right fit and things like that. But you've got to say, since he left, it's not been exactly barnstorming that what's gone on under Stellini, who, by the way, is still a proxy for Conte anyway, so it's not like things are all that different. Still, very strange. Very, very strange. You have a 1-1 with Everton, you win 2-1 against Brighton, one of the most informed teams in the league, and then you lose to Bournemouth after you basically thought, hey, we are actually not doing that badly here. It's a really strange time to be there. There is an argument, by the way, that Spurs should actually be changing formation, that they should actually just be playing 2 strong centre-backs at the back, 2 full-backs who are basically going up the field, drop someone like who'd you drop there? Not Longley, but, you know, another centre-back, basically. And basically go 4-3-3. Change your formation. Change away from what Conte was doing with you. It is clearly not working for Spurs at this point. Do they not trust Dyer in the back line? They can trust Romero, I think, of course. So I'm kind of struggling why they aren't changing formation. Then look at the midfield. You'll get more numbers in that midfield because at the moment, you go with someone like Oliver Skipp and +1. You don't really have a +1 at the moment, apart from Højbjerg. But you've not got Basuma in there. You've not got a Bentancur. You're struggling for options. So tell me why it is that they're not just changing things up at the moment. Probably because you got rid of Conte and got a proxy for Conte. It's a ridiculous thing. Like, you could have gotten someone up. Nagelsmann could have been sitting in that job. If you're going to write the rest of the season off, which you pretty much are, because I'm going to go through your formation and your fixtures in a minute, then why not get someone in and just go, hey, we're going to fully trust you. Doesn't matter what results you get from here. Just convince Harry Kane to stay. Show people you're going to play good football and show us that there is a project that people can invest in here. It's ridiculous what is going on at Spurs right now. But I mean, look, if I look at this starting 11 for Spurs versus Bournemouth, right? In the starting up front, you've got Kulusevski, Kane and Son. Telling me that they're not capable of scoring whatever it is that the opposition score? Probably. Do you know why they're not capable of scoring whatever the opposition score? Because they've got Longley, Dyer and Romero sat back there, basically going, I'm not quite sure that we know what the structure of this is here. Pedro Porro coming in, he must be looking around and going, hey, I'm trying. Perisic on the other wing, who, by the way, seems to have consistently good games for Spurs, but I'd imagine they will tell you that they didn't. Oliver Skipp in the middle of midfield, one of the few who was subbed today. They only made 2 subs in the whole game, showing basically that their squad's a little bit hobbled right now, or they don't have the depth that they actually needed in the team. I think they actually made 2 subs. Yeah. And then outside of that, you've basically got a set of people on the bench who aren't all that. I mean, they brought on Richarlison, they brought on Danjuma, and then they brought on, well, no one else. Fraser Forster, probably the highest of all the quality people. I'm wondering if maybe the Spurs team are a little light. Not only that, but are we seeing some injuries at this point in the season, or some people not quite up to level because they've been so exhausted by what's gone on, A, emotionally, B, physically in the rest of the season? Or have we just got a couple of people who are going, hey, I'm off at the end of the season, so we're all good. Don't worry about it. Harry Kane, the stories already in the media of him possibly going to Manchester United, possibly looking at moves to other places because, well, he can keep his record or keep the record in sight if he goes to another team where he's actually going to have people play to his strengths rather than just a random set of tactics. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes things click, sometimes things don't. You got players who are moody in the team. You got players who weren't happy for a while under certain managers. You've got clearly a team of people who aren't always galvanized behind a manager. You've got clearly a team of people who don't know how to unify each other and don't know how to come together. You've got a captain who will try to unify those people, and I'm sure lots of people will pay lip service to him. Basically, is just sitting there going, well, I'm off at the end of the season, so how are you meant to respect me as a leader in the first place anyway? And don't say it's because he's a good professional, because clearly that isn't a thing in the Premier League. This isn't the only team this is happening to right now, by the way. So it's not as if this is just like a one-off thing. Bad things happening at Chelsea. They don't have a manager who can galvanise them. Bad things happening at Spurs. They don't have a manager who can galvanise them. Bad things are happening at Liverpool. The manager is struggling to galvanise them right now. Do you know why? Because there are too many players in and out. There are too many relationships that aren't quite as solid as they need to be. There are a couple of tactics in the team who, we can play towards their strengths, but they're not always going to work. Do you know why? Because we're quite easy to work out for the opposition here. So all of these frustrating factors are adding up right now and are possibly going to lose Spurs a position in the top 4. And saying to me, oh, well, it was already beyond their reach or whatever it was. If Spurs win today, if I look at the Premier League table, then Spurs basically go level on points with Manchester United. And I know that they'll play 2 extra games, but at least they're putting some pressure on them. I mean, Newcastle lost there, they go level on points with them as well. And based on goal difference, they'd only just make it above Manchester United because weirdly, Newcastle have scored way more than them. Again, a manager who's galvanised them is bringing them together. There was clearly a goal at the start of the season for Newcastle. They well outperformed it. There was clearly a goal at the start of the season for Spurs. They are just about missing out on it now. They've Arsenaled themselves, you might say. But Arsenal from previous years, not Arsenal this year. Which could also be good because, well, if they sell someone like Kane in the summer, if they do get some more recruits, if they manage to galvanise the team, bring them together, then maybe a new manager like a Nagelsmann or whoever it is that's going to come in at Spurs could be good. But it's clear that there is also a culture at this team of maybe not fully investing in a manager or not fully investing in what is going on there and possibly checking out. So Spurs fans, are you happy with that? Spurs fans, are you actually okay with Spurs basically just going, this is good enough? Because blatantly it isn't. Why is there always a siren in the background of all my videos? I don't know. On top of that, I think you have a real issue in that if you look at Spurs fixtures, which Tottenham fixtures, come the end of the season, I don't know how many of these they win. They play, literally, the next couple of games are Newcastle, not sure they win that one. Manchester United, not sure they win that one. Liverpool is 50-50, probably 60-40. Crystal Palace, not sure they win that one. Villa, really not sure they win that one. Brentford, probably just passive. Leeds United might need a result at that point. I'm struggling to see where Tottenham get a result for the rest of the season here. Not only that, but it's probably because there are other managers who are willing to put more effort, think more than whatever is going on at Spurs right now. It's just bizarre to think that Spurs could just write the rest of the season off. Not that they will, but the point is they might just scrape Europa League at this point. Because if you, again, look at the Premier League table, they've got people on their heels, like Aston Villa, who are 3 points behind them, no games in hand, but like Brighton, who are 4 points behind them, two games in hand, those 3, 2 games in hand. Brighton win their next 2 games, they go above Spurs. Now, that also is what a great job De Zerbi and people like that are doing right now in coming in, galvanising players, getting them invested in the project. There is very little difference, by the way, in the quality of Spurs squad and the squad of Brighton right now. I mean, it's spread out in different ways, but you sort of get my point, right? Like attacking-wise, maybe, but you get my point? I'm really confused as to what it is that Spurs are trying to achieve at this point. What it is that the players think they're going to achieve. Villa are catching them up. Sure, they're massively outperforming, but isn't that the point of a manager? You're meant to massively outperform things? There are got to be huge question marks over, Daniel Levy, first of all, and what his management is going on, who it is that he gets next. He can't just go for a big name out there. He's got to go for someone that brings the club together. He's got to go for someone that unifies the team. Is it a Vincent Kompany? Vincent Kompany has managed to unify a Burnley, get them unified around a goal, playing great football, bringing them up into the Premier League. They're clearly going to have limited resources. Is Vincent Kompany going to be looking at basically going, hey, I could go somewhere else and do a reasonable job here? It could be Kompany versus Arteta, two ex-Man City guys. So at this point, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm thinking, I have a real issue here with whatever it is that whoever the man, I mean, Stellini first of all, but also then Daniel Levy. I'd be mad at Harry Kane because he's not committed his future necessarily to the club over the summer, because he's not come out and gone, I'm here in the long run, let's have a big title drive. There's already rumours that he's going to Manchester United, and that's pretty much agreed anyway. Oh, good. And therefore, they have to go out there and look for someone. Are they looking at Vlahovic? Are they looking at other big people? They need to go out and break the bank for a new striker out there. Someone who can bring the players in them around. Like into the box, around them. I'd love to know what you Spurs fans think. If you've had a good time recently, I'd be very surprised. I just don't see where you're going to win for the rest of the season. I get it. Like, you know, you were galvanised against Brighton. Brighton are a good team, but they probably had quite an off night that night. I watched that game. Like, everyone else is outperforming. Spurs aren't. What next? Let me know, guys. See you in a while. Much love. Bye.